If you're looking to get started or improve your live stream video, then today's episode is for you. I'm Todd from Zeotag.com, and we have Madalyn Sklar, social media expert and video rock star, to help us understand how we can plan more engaging and valuable live streams without any kind of awkwardness, without getting caught up with any mental blocks, the right tools and software that make it easy so that you're easily able to create live streams that are engaging, get people watching, and more importantly, use those live streams as video assets for your business going forward. So if you want to create more engaging videos that get more viewers, sign up for a free Zeotag account at Zeotag.com. And without further ado, here's today's episode with Madalyn. All right, welcome to the show, Madalyn Sklar. Thank you so much. Madalyn and I have been good friends for a few years now. We met through Lewis House School of Greatness, who Lewis also puts out some great video content if you guys don't follow him already. But Madalyn is half of the Communities That Convert squad. We have the other episode with Cammie already, and she has her own podcast, the Twitter Smarter podcast, and she runs the Twitter Smarter Twitter chat, and she's a world-renowned social media expert. Super excited to have Madalyn here. She also has a program called Video Like a Rockstar. And recently on one of the episodes, which we'll link to in the show notes for Communities That Convert, Madalyn talked through how to plan and structure your live stream so that you have more valuable and engaging content, because a lot of people get stuck with, where do I start and what kind of stuff should I say? So I've blabbed a little bit too much, but Madalyn, why don't you give us a little background on your social media background and your video stuff and how you got here today?
Cool. Well, Todd, thank you for having me on here. I just love talking about all things social media, Twitter, and video. Those are kind of like my main things. Gosh, I've been doing digital marketing since 1996. I know that's hard to believe, but I've been doing this stuff for a very long time, and I've been doing social media marketing as a business, helping lots and lots of people, lots of businesses improve their social media and get real results since 2005. So that's I'm kind of like OG when it comes to all this stuff. OG. And I love it. So, and I've always been an early adopter to all things new and techie and anything with social media. I'm wearing the new AirPods, these brand new AirPods. Like I saw they were available. I just went ahead and ordered them. A couple days later, I got the brand new AirPods. So I just love being the first to try things and get people all excited about it. So live streaming is something I'm very passionate about. I've been doing it since the very beginning when this was still, coming together. Yes, live streaming has been around for longer than people think. We think of Facebook Live with it, but actually there were other platforms. They weren't great. Kind of think YouTube in the beginning where the quality wasn't that great. And so there are other platforms where you could live stream video. And so I just have found really cool ways of doing it where I can get my message across and help lots of people. And so I'm eager to share the things I know with your audience today.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, when people are getting started and they're doing live streams, what are some of the mistakes that you see a lot of beginners kind of running into?
Okay, the biggest mistake you will see, and this is something everybody needs to avoid, is that when you start, because it's a little scary pressing that live button, right? You're going live, that's it. No turning back, right? And the first thing we do is we kind of freeze up and go, let's wait for people to show up. So, you'll see one person, two, and you're like, hey, everybody, let's wait a few minutes for more people to show up before I start talking. And then you're going to have dead air. You don't want dead air. You want to be engaging from the moment you press that button. And there's so many little things you can do that really make a difference. And one of my very first tips that I want to talk about is as soon as you go live, those first few seconds, the only people that'll see it will be the replay people, that watch it later when it's not live. Because once you go live, it takes a little bit of time for everything to connect and synchronize. And if you're doing a Facebook Live, it takes a moment for Facebook to let people know you're live. And so that first few seconds, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to see anybody show up. So you want to actually address the replay audience. So you might see some people doing this, and it's a great strategy. So you just want to say, as soon as you hit go, say, hey, thanks for watching the replay. I'm so glad you're here.
That's so
just
smart.
Took me 2 seconds to do.
Yeah.
And when you go to your playback of that live stream, that's the very first thing that's going to show up. So you're letting the replay viewers feel special the moment they start watching, because you're addressing them.
Yeah, I love that, because like you said, when you hit the go live button, nobody's going to be there yet. Even if you're planning pre-promoting it, it still takes a couple seconds. So that's genius way to to know how to just start talking out of the gate, and also to fill what used to be dead air, and also address multifaceted benefits with that. So all right, that's the biggest mistake there. So how do you suggest people kind of plan and structure their lives so that it is something that's engaging for people that are watching live and on the replays?
Well, you want to have really great content. I mean, first and foremost, what are you going to be talking about? You don't want to wing it. You don't want to just try to fly by the seat of your pants, because it is so easy to mess up that way, right? Where you're just kind of like, what should I talk about? What do y'all want me to talk about? Don't start that. Don't ask because first of all, you don't know who's going to be there. Yeah. You don't know how many people are there. On a Facebook Live, many times there'll be people there, but Facebook is not telling you they're there. There have been so many times where after the fact, I've seen some of my friends were there, and I'm like, I didn't even know they were there. So you want to encourage people to just stop what they're doing for a moment and just type in something. Say, hi, I'm watching. Hey, you're all, hey. Yeah. Sometimes when you start, say, hey, can you all hear me okay? Don't spend too much time with that, but just it's actually a great way to get people to engage. Just by saying, hey, can you all hear me okay? Is my video okay? Just let me know. And where's everybody at? Where are you watching from?
Yeah.
And just getting them to engage from the start. Because if it's not engaging, let's think about this for a moment. We all have a very short attention span. Mm-hmm. So if you're surfing around on Facebook and you see the little notification, oh, Madalyn Sklar just went live, let me click on it. And if I'm just sitting there going, hey, everybody, let's wait a minute for more people to show up, you're just going to leave. You're like, okay, that's exciting. So what can I do to keep people engaged? And so I need to have a really compelling information to talk about. With me, I'm usually sharing Twitter tips or some kind of social media tip or how to use video better. So I'll have at minimum an outline in front of me, so I have my different talking points. So that way I can stay. There's nothing wrong with veering off and connecting with people, and somebody types a question and you address it right on the spot. That's what makes live video really cool. That's one of the things I really thrive in a live stream situation. A lot of people are nervous about it. I totally understand. Yeah. But I can tell you, the more you do it and the more you practice with it, the easier it does get. That's why I started my Video Like a Rockstar program, was to get people over that fear of doing video, and especially live streaming video, because it can be intimidating. Yeah. I mean, you when you're on a live stream, you're looking at your camera, but you don't see anyone. You don't know who's there unless they comment and say something. So it can get a little freaky at first, like you don't know what to say. So that's why it's good to have an outline, not so much a script, because you don't want to be like looking down at your computer, ask people for the, no, you don't want to do that. You just want to, have some talking points nearby that you can glance at and know, so you can stay on track, but definitely connect with your audience. If at the beginning say, hey, where's everybody watching from? And read it off and say, oh, look, John's here from Austin, Texas. Oh, cool. Hey, John, good to see you. You make people feel so special when you're addressing them that way. Yeah. So while it's a nice way to get people engaged, it's also giving you a little bit of time in the beginning. Yeah. So instead of the dreaded, let's wait a few minutes for more people to show up, you're actually doing that, but in engaging, without saying it, and in a more engaging way.
Yeah, and I like the idea, I don't like to script things out word for word. I like to have talking points as well. And I like the idea of, let's have some talking points, and then know whether you have to put it in your bullet points as a note to yourself, or just keep in mind, like, after each talking point, let me check in on the comments to see if there's someone there to get them engaged, and then say, oh, Madalyn's here. Madalyn, I know you do videos like this. Like, thanks for coming. If you got any ideas, leave a comment. I'd love to read it off, and then jump back into your next talking point, so that, you are taking advantage of the live, but you're also planning to have this, like, going into your live recording as I'm creating a piece of content that's going to live forever that I can reuse, repurpose, and be an asset for the business, but also taking advantage of the live aspect. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to create, we're going to live stream and talk about these 5 key bullet points that are going to be valuable for people on a replay afterwards. But let me ask some questions and create some engagement throughout that don't take away from the value I'm bringing, but enhance it and create more of a reason for people to tune in when we're going live.
Absolutely. One of the things I love about live streaming video is that you don't need to do a lot of prep because, just like you're saying, you don't want it to be scripted because, that's what recorded video is for. Is when you want to do something a little bit more scripted, you want to show a how-to and walk people through, do a screen share. But when you're on a live stream, it's a little bit more loose, a little bit more relaxed. But the beauty is that you can come up with great content that you didn't have to spend tons and tons of time developing. If you just have those talking points and you go live, now you got this video that you, just like you were saying, I love repurposing. That's one of my favorite things to do every chance I get. So which is easier for you to do? Go spend days and weeks and months coming up with a whole series of videos that you record, not to say not to do it, but it's very time consuming. Or why not get some talking points and go do some live streams, which is so much easier. And now you got all this content that will live on in various ways depending on how you're putting it out there. So I'm a fan of doing it all, but live stream should not be overlooked if it's something where you're just a little too nervous, you haven't had much experience, or you don't know what to say. It can be the same content you put in your recorded videos or in your blog. I have a blog where every week I share Twitter tips. And one of the strategies I'm going to be using in the new year in 2020 is I want to take talking points from these different articles and make a YouTube video version. So there'll be a short video of me just talking about these items. And that's just another way to develop content. And then I'll go a step further and do some live streams to get people excited. And there's so many, you're like the master with funnels. I kind of envision it as a funnel, let's do a live stream because that's quick and easy and I can talk about this and get people excited. The call to action, and you should always have a call to action, is to then send people to the YouTube video version, which will be the more produced, recorded version, which then leads them down a path to go sign up for my course or something, So there's so many things you can do. Is so endless, but live stream gives you the ability to move quickly. You don't have to spend a ton of time developing it. You just got to get over the nerves of pressing the button and just going for it. Because that's the hardest part in all of this. It's just going live.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think most people, I think video in general, recorded or live, it's a mental thing, right? Because there's no problem sitting down having a cup of coffee telling me five insights that you had at a conference last week. But for some reason, when people flip the camera on, they get stage fright and they freeze up, right? But so what kind of tips do you have for people, to get over the nerves of it?
Oh gosh, first and foremost, practice. Just practice every day, even if it's just pretending you're live, just put a camera on you and just, one of the things that we can all do that's simple and easy is, have your camera in front of you and just open up QuickTime Video or just one of the internal programs on your computer and just press play and just pretend you're going live. Now, you can go on Facebook and do a live stream that just goes to you. There's actually settings when you do this. When you go to compose a post in your Facebook, and instead of going, what you can do is you click on the live button, but there'll be a place in there where you can have global to just your friends, or it'll say only me. And so that's another way where you can practice when no one will see it, just you.
And then you can get an idea of what it actually looks like on there, right?
Exactly, because you can go and watch it afterwards and critique yourself. And in my Video Like a Rockstar program, which I'm actually getting ready to restart in the new year, because I didn't do it much this year. The year before was when I went all in on that. I just juggled too many things. I like to do it all. So, it's kind of hard. But I really enjoy teaching that because I find that so many people are held back by fear of going live or not knowing what to talk about. But once I get them going with it, they see the value and they see that it's not as hard. It was a mental thing. It's just they were keeping themselves from going. So practicing is key. And in my program, what I do is I get everybody buddied up with someone very similar to how you and I met through Lewis House's program, where I think the very first assignment we all had was to form a little mastermind within the big mastermind program. And it's such a smart way to kind of get an accountability partner and have someone to talk to and bounce ideas off with. But what I do is I take it a step further and I say, okay, you two are paired up, make videos with each other, practice with each other, and just get used to it. And it was transformational for every one of my students. Said that if it wasn't for going through these steps and practicing and having someone to do this with that's going through it as well, that they would have never have done it.
I love that.
So, yeah.
So we have, we have our intro where we're welcoming people from the replay. We have our planned talking points that we're going to go through and provide valuable content that people are interested in. In between those talking points, we're going to check in on the comments and ask people to engage throughout so that we're getting the live and the replay people to actually, interact a little bit. Now, how do you recommend, kind of wrapping up the videos once you've hit through all your talking points?
Yeah, you definitely want to have some kind of call to action. You want people to do something next. It's like you're winding down. You don't want them to just walk away empty-handed. You want to maybe have a PDF download that they can go grab on their way out. You can give them instructions on how to do that, or talk about a new program you have and tell them how they can sign up. What's great about a live stream is that you can get people excited about your services, about your courses, your programs, whatever it is that you do. You can use it as a way to get them excited about it, but don't walk away at the end until you've given them that next step. So a call to action is definitely a great way to go. And you're like the master of it, Todd, because you're so great at always, every time you've been on my Twitter chats, you always have a PDF download ready. I always try to emulate you, and I'm always like, oh yeah, I got to make me. But it's easier said than done. I mean, it takes some work, but you can definitely plan it out. And I'm trying to be much better about that because it's such a smart way to go. You just don't want to leave without people having a next step. And not everybody wants a next step or needs it, but you're going to have some people that are going to be grateful that you gave them something else they can do next because they're so interested in your message. Yeah,
and I'll even piggyback on that. So what I do for those things, because they are intense, is like we talked about, you want to plan your talking points ahead for your video. So what I'll actually do is I'll use a Google Doc to plan out talking points for a video or a blog post or whatever it's going to be. This is when you do it for a video, it's actually a lot easier. All right, well, I can do rough draft notes for myself that are just bullet points and they're easy to talk through, right? But if I just spend like 20 minutes taking those rough bullet point notes and making them into just subheadings and then putting the main talking points are a subheading, and then the things I touch on are bullet points or short sentences in those sections. And then you put a cover page and then another call to action at the end. Like, you just turned your notes into a valuable lead magnet, because people who are watching, they might not be taking notes. They're probably not taking notes. So then when you can say, hey, if you want to get more out of this, click over to the website and download the freebie. I took the notes for you. Or if you want, step-by-step instructions on what we just went through, I already wrote them up for you. And if you just make it like, if you just polish up your note-taking process, you're not looking at spending 4 hours creating a free PDF to give away. You're just adding a half hour onto your note-taking and planning process, and you can repurpose, like we talked about. We love the repurposing. And repurpose your actual notes and planning into something that's really valuable for your viewers. So I think that's huge, is planning ahead and thinking, if you have the foresight for how can I use the notes for something that people are going to get value from, I think that's a great, easy way to create lead magnets from all the live content or recorded content or anything that you're creating. I think is huge. So, and they don't have to be super fancy. I mean, when I'm doing it, I'm trying to make it into a nice PDF, but like you just like do the Google Doc and you just send people, which is not something we always think about doing. And that's such a great strategy because many times we're working in Google Docs when we're creating, talking points or, outlines and things like that for what we're doing ourselves, but to turn around and make like a version that could be public, which is so easy to do, and then you just link to it is brilliant. And then you can update, and then you can always update it, and the link doesn't change. That's the other part I like too. So I really like doing that, and I think getting over we talked about like the mindset hurdles and stuff, and that's just think about like as an expert, if you're going live and you're giving valuable content, that's what people want, is they want that stuff that they can learn from you. That's why they're watching. So giving them an additional step, I think, is huge for them as viewers and customers, and it's huge for your business, because that's how you really take your viewers from being engaged watching into that next step towards being a customer.
Absolutely. I mean, you just can't go wrong going that route. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so we have our video. We have our plan, we have our talking points, we're welcoming people, we're engaging, we have a next step, we've wrapped up, right? So how do we get people to actually watch it, right? Are you planning ahead and promoting? Are you promoting it afterwards? Is it a little bit of both? Like, how do you get people to actually watch the live streams?
A little bit of both. So, when you're doing a live stream, it's always good to plan it out, have a specific day and time. Some people do a whole series where they do it like I've seen a lot of people who are doing like a challenge or getting people excited about a new course or mastermind or some kind of program. And they'll say, come to my Facebook group. I'm going to go live every day this week. So something where it's easy for people to know when to be there live. But I love that it's so easy for people to watch a replay. And I don't worry so much about how many people are there live, because I know most people are going to watch the replay because it's when it's convenient for them. And just because you pick a day and time doesn't mean everybody can show up at that time. But I promote it as a live event. I'm hoping people come to it live. But I also know as soon as I hit end, a few minutes later, it's available ready to go for anybody that comes across the replay. So then what I do is I'll take that replay and I will plaster it all over social media. And the easiest way to do this is when you're done with your live stream, go back to where that post is on Facebook, click on the timestamp, and it's going to open up, or just click on the video, and it's going to open up, full screen the video. Whatever the URL is at the top, that's the link that will take people to that video replay. So you could go and post that over on LinkedIn and on Twitter and get people over to it, and all over Facebook as well. So, just keep promoting it, let people know about it, and let it work for you. Yeah,
I love that. So we are both huge tool geeks, right?
Yep.
And as you said, you're into all the tech and you're an early adopter of stuff. So what are some tools that are used, in the live streaming and the promotion process that you have in your toolkit?
Yeah, so I've been a big fan of BeLive for many, many years, and I like BeLive because it's really easy to use, both for myself and also for if I'm going to have a guest on a live stream, which for years I would do with my Twitter chats. I would do what I call the after chat, where I would do a live stream after chat and bring on a guest, and you've been on that before. Yeah. And I like BeLive because it made it very easy for my guests. When you bring people onto your live stream, they may not be tech savvy. I know I didn't have to worry about that with you, but plenty of people are not tech savvy and they don't know what to do. And if they have to go download something, or it's all these hoops they got to go through, it's going to make it very difficult. And it might be hard for them to show up on time because of that as well. Whereas BeLive is web-based. You just literally give them a link and it's very simple. The price was very affordable. But there's so many other ones. I'm really interested in StreamYard, and Cami Hoysa, who you mentioned at the beginning, and she's my co-host on the Communities That Convert podcast. She loves StreamYard, and it's a very interesting platform. Their pricing is really good. There's another one I like called Ecamm. I use their Ecamm call recorder. Yeah, their call recorder I've used for years for my podcast when I do my interviews on my podcast, but they have Ecamm Live for the live streams. And, when you look at these different tools, they all have their sets of features. And I always recommend, what I do is I tell everybody, here are the different tools that I'm familiar with and I like. And I tell everybody, go to these sites, go through the features and see what resonates with you. Because you might look at some of these and go, oh, these don't really do things. I want to do this other thing. And I see StreamYard's the only one that does it. So let me go with them. So find the one that best fits what you're trying to do. Some people want to live stream in multiple platforms at once. Like they want to do a LinkedIn Live and a Facebook Live all together instead of just doing one or the other. So some of these platforms can do it, some of them do not. So you just need to do a little bit of research and see what works for you.
Yeah, I love that. And so that's the software side. What about like the actual equipment? You got your beautiful fancy microphone there. Like, what are what are some maybe low level, low ticket things that people can get started with, and then when they're ready to kind of take the leap into some more advanced, what kind of stuff should they get?
Our phones are amazing for live streaming. There's this misconception that people think they have to have fancy equipment to do live streaming video. And that's not true. Even for podcasting, since I'm a podcaster, people think that too. Now, I have fancy equipment because I've been doing this for a very long time and I upgraded over time. But the easiest thing to do is start with your phone. It's very easy to live stream from your phone, and then you can slowly build up. There are microphones that the kind that you pin to your
lavaliers,
lapel, the lavaliers, the lapel mics that are very inexpensive. There was one I used for quite a while with my phone that was only $20, and I recently upgraded to the Rode lapel mic. That's a little bit, I think it costs like about $65. So you can always upgrade. And then this is one of my fancy mics. I actually have a nicer, fancier mic than this for my podcasting that I do in a different room. But this is a very affordable microphone that works great for not only podcasting but for doing video and live streaming video, and it's the Audio Technica ATR 2100, and this is like an excellent microphone for the money. And since you listen to my podcast with Cammie, I always tell people, when you listen to us, I'm using a over $300 microphone. She's using this. This costs, I think, about $70, maybe $65. You cannot tell the difference.
Right.
They both sound so good. So this is an amazing microphone. So when I'm doing video in my office here, separate from I have a little podcast studio now. So I have my expensive equipment in there, but I'm doing video like this. I use this microphone, and honestly, it sounds amazing. So you can slowly upgrade as you can afford it. But for most people, they're on a budget. They don't want to sink a bunch of money. Plus, they want to see if they even enjoy doing it. They're worried they might go spend money on equipment, do it once, go, oh, I don't like this. And now I'm stuck with all this equipment. So start with your phone. Start low and slow and work your way up.
Yeah. And what about lighting tips? Should everybody have lights? I know that's really key. What kind of lighting tips do you have for people?
Absolutely. Now, I'm in front of a big window, and so my lighting is pretty good right now.
So right now you don't have a light on?
I actually have zero lights on. I'm in front of a big window. I love when I have an office next to, I always try to make sure I'm in front of a big window because I like natural light as it is. And if you get really good natural light with the way video equipment is, I'm using a Logitech webcam right now, the Brio, which is a really nice camera, and it picks up lighting really well. If it was nighttime, I'd be using an actual a light. I do have some lights that I buy that are really good for lighting up. I can tell you've got some good lights going there. What are you using?
Honestly, right now, I had to grab something out of our photo studio here, and I just took one of the soft lights and took the box out. Because the way, this is something, it's important to think about and practice, right? Because in my office, the ceiling lights, like I have my ceiling lights off right now, and I just have a light on me because even with the light in front of me, for whatever reason, exactly where the light sits, my whole face just turns dark and you can't see. So I have to turn I have to turn off the lights in my office to just use the light in front of me. And I just grabbed something out of the photo studio and took the soft light box off of it. I think my lighting setup is like, I paid like $75 for two soft lights. It doesn't have to be expensive. And I have a Logitech, I forget the exact name, but it's like a $75 webcam. And I have a Blue Snowball microphone, which was like $60 or $70. So, very low cost to get started. And you're in front of a window right now, so you don't even need, if again, like you plan your settings properly, you could not even have to buy lighting for stuff as long as you have a good natural lighting. And I think that's what we're getting at. You can get started without having to worry about spending a lot of money using a phone, a webcam with a nice, beautiful window. Or you can take things to the next level and get some pro-am, pro-consumer type stuff, right?
And they're not expensive at all. I actually have a resource page on my website that I can, if you don't mind me sharing the link that people can check out. is madalynsklar.com/podcast mic. And I first started off as a place because people are always asking, what equipment do I use for my podcast? But it's actually all of my audio and video equipment. So it's not just for podcasting, it's for my video, for my live streams. And I have all the lights, all the mics, everything that I use is on there. I even there's a cool little very inexpensive light that you can attach to your phone.
Oh,
so
I
that
need
if
to get
you
one of
are
those.
using your it's really cool and it really works well. So there's so many little things that can help that are inexpensive. So you can go check it out on my site. I mean, I've done the big ring light, I've done the soft lights like you're using. I've tried it all, and it's just. But I love being in front of a window. So, you can't go wrong with that, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So, you have to experiment. I mean, when I teach my program, my Video Like a Rockstar, one of the assignments is to try different places in your home and in your office, different windows, different places that are lit up to see how you look on camera and find that perfect spot where you get good lighting. And really just being in front of a window will do wonders.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Madalyn, this has been great. So much great information, learning how to plan out and structure our live streams, how to actually go through them so there's no dead air. We're getting people engaged. We're creating valuable content. We're repurposing those videos after they go live, and we're getting people to watch the replay, and some tips on, how to get started, what kind of equipment to add in over time, what software to use to make it easy. I mean, there's a ton of value in this episode. Thank you so much. So where can people find you and learn more about what you have going on?
Oh, best place is my website, MadalynSklar.com, and I'm always available to chat. You send me a message or tweet me. I'm always on Twitter. Send me a message. I'll be happy to chat. And thanks for having me on, Todd. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for watching. Go check out MadalynSklar.com. And if you want to create more engaging videos from what you already have on YouTube and Facebook, get your free Zeotag account at Zeotag.com and just put your YouTube and Facebook videos through that player and embed it on your website, and then people can interact and engage with it right there. Makes it super easy. So go check that out at Zeotag.com. Get Madalyn at Madalynsklar.com, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.